Hello and welcome to my Flosstube number 43. My name is Esther, aka SpeedyXStitcher. This Flosstube is going to be a bit different because the first part of it will be my regular Flosstube, which will probably be pretty short. And then I decided, because there's less than 2 weeks until Halloween, that I would try to make what could I call it? A Halloween projects parade. That is Halloween projects that I have fully finished. I did not make my first Halloween project until 2021. So what I'm going to show you today are all my Halloween projects that I have finished since I began in, I think it was May of 2021. Okay, but let's start with the regular Flosstube. First of all, I'm going to start with haul because I have one thing. Yesterday I was in Sweden and I bought this frame. As you can see, it has, there's a lot of, it has room for 3. I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but eventually I will put something in. It's very cheap to buy stuff in Sweden because 100 Swedish krona is just 65 Danish. So I bought quite a lot of things yesterday, including some lights for Christmas decorations when that time comes. But never mind. Let's get started with the regular Flosstube. Since my last Flosstube, I've been working on 10 projects altogether. Of those were 3 new starts, and I have 2 FFOs and 1 FO. That means 2 fully finished projects and 1 where the stitching is done. And let's start with the one where the stitching is done. This is one of my older whips. I started this back in 2021. It's on 14 count lilac, pale lilac Ada. It's by the German designers Lindner's Kreuzstich. And as you can see, it just says Happy Halloween. I have this Whip Sweep 24 tag where I'm trying to reduce my whip pile because it was at 79 and I think now it's about 74.5 or something. So it is going down. But this was, as I said, one of my first Halloween projects. But I'm going to talk more about Halloween later on. Then I had my 2 FFOs. The first one is the Iron Maiden. You saw it last time, but since then I have fully finished it, and I decided, I stitched my initials here, and then I had the Union Jack as fabric, and I thought that was quite suitable because Bruce Dickinson, the singer, he very often runs around on stage with a Union Jack flag. So, and I like this very much. Then I had been to a talk, or whatever you call it, with a knitting designer, and she was talking about, I don't remember what the name of the technique was, but I thought, if I blend threads, I should be able to do kind of the same thing in stitching. And so I did. So I made this little duck, and as I hope you can see, the colors are changing. I'm going to play more with colors because I would like the color change to be even more subtle. But these are all blends except the last one. So I think I should start with non-blend and then start blending. Non-blend, blend, non-blend. I think that could be the way. And since I had fabric with little ducklings on it, that's what I put on the back side. And then I have a lot of these 2024 charms, and the year is soon over, so I better start using them. And this was on the same fabric as this. I think that's 16 count. I don't remember now. 16 or 18 count. Hand dyed by me. I think it was 16. Yeah. Then I said last time that I'm getting pretty tired of working on this by Soda Stitch Design, this second Halloween jar. I've worked on it for one day, and I did 136 stitches. Oh yeah, by the way, this one was 1,310 stitches, and the Happy Halloween was backstitching as well as 273 stitches. And all projects I have only worked on one day, except for those. I think I have 2 projects where I worked 2 days, but otherwise just one day. So, and this is on 14 count, Ada, hand dyed by me. And I'm really struggling with this at the moment. I just don't feel like stitching on it. I think it's very, very boring. And before I used to love stitching on it, and it was so easy to put in 200, 300, 400, 500 stitches a day. And now, no. Same goes for this Merry Catmas, also by Soda Stitch. I only stitched on this. I did 45 stitches. I think there's less, I don't recall if there's any back stitching, and I think there's less than 200 stitches in this one, and I just can't pull myself together to finish it. So instead I try to force myself to at least stitch just one thread on it. Let me see. Yeah. Then there was Whip Go. I did finish the first one because that was to sort my, either it was my DMC thread or my fancy floss. I don't remember, but I already did that. So I only had to stitch 500 stitches on one of my own projects, and it has been a while, so I will probably not be able to show you a photo unless I remember. No, I remember to take a photo before I started stitching on it. So this is my 4th wing, and I put in 547 stitches, and I mainly worked here. I mean, I only stitched with 739. So, and I think I mentioned that before, that I might take a little darker brownish color and do some back stitching when it's done. I haven't decided yet. If I were to do it again, I would have chosen some other fabric, but I thought since the book cover is yellow, I would stitch on yellow fabric, or these colors should have been darker. Well, they are not. And it's stitched on 18 count Ada, opalescent, and I dyed the fabric, and it looks like this. And it's one of my favorite audiobooks. I have heard it twice. The second book, Iron Flame, I haven't heard all of it, but I have heard rumors that it ends with a cliffhanger. I hate cliffhangers. And therefore I decided that I would not listen to the last 4 hours, because when the third book comes out, eventually, I will restart listening first to Fourth Wing and then listen to the whole Iron Flame and then start on the new one. Because I'm just not built for cliffhangers. I really hate it. Okay. Then I also worked on 13 Spooky Streets. I did 113 stitches, so that's not much. It's on a piece of leftover Ada from my Buffy sampler, so it's 18 count. As you can see, I'm stitching with the yellows. This has to be filled out with 3 different yellow colors, and the same goes for the lantern. And then I still need a little back stitching, and then it's done. So I think there's a pretty good chance that this one will be finished this year. And this is from a Cross Stitcher magazine. No, excuse me, from just Cross Stitch. I think from the ornaments of, either it was Halloween ornaments, either it was 2022 or 2023. I don't remember. And I didn't put down the notes for that this time. And I'm using Sulky for all. Then I had 2 more new starts. These, I cannot say much about it, but you might know that I'm also making a Danish Flosstube. And I'm working together, collaborating with another profile on Instagram, because we're going to make a little competition for people living in Denmark, because postage is way too high. I have made these next 2 patterns. They are Christmas patterns. The first one is a little ornament. It just looks like this. It's on 16 count black, and I have used DMC. So I think it's pretty cute. Yeah, what else is there to say? These patterns are going to be in something you can buy from my partner, if you could say so, because she has a shop. But they are exclusively going to be sold in a kit. That means the kits cost money, the patterns are free. I don't charge anything for my patterns. I also made this one, a Christmas bell, also on 16 count black Ada. And this one I did in 1 day. It has 520 stitches. And this one I did in 2 days. It has 1189 stitches. And I think it's 9 colors in it. And I think it's okay. It's the first time I've been trying to work something with shadows, and I think it looks all right. Yeah. And then the last one, I think you already guessed which one it was. Of course, it's a Christmas tree, my Mirabilia Christmas Tree. I love this one. So I worked on this for 2 days, and I did 1278 stitches and finished 3 colors, including that awful Krynic. Oh, I have a lot of thread here. So it doesn't take that long. This is not looking that well today. because it's getting pretty big. As you can see, I have done more here, and I have also done more of these. I still need to do some of these. I only got 2 colors left, the icing, the white one, and the Bahama Breeze, which is the light blue one. And I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to start beading it. I think it will look absolutely stunning. So this is my Mirabilia Christmas tree. And I'm stitching it on 27 count Schülertuch from Zweigart, and I hand dyed it. And I'm using the call for, and the only reason it's possible for me to stitch with this Belsoir, because Christine was so kind to send me the threads from the USA. Because you can only get these threads in the US and in the UK. So I'm very grateful. And yeah, not much white left, but luckily enough, I do have one more white. Otherwise, I couldn't finish my Christmas tree. I still have 1200, almost 1200 stitches of white, and one more thread wasn't going to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare for the Halloween project parade. So see you in a while. So welcome back, or if you have used my timestamps to jump right in to this part of my video, welcome. Now I'm going to show you the Halloween projects that I finished since I began my first Halloween project in 2021. I'm going to show them to you in the chronologically, but not chronologically the way and how fast I fully finished them, but when I started stitching them, because you know, this one was one of the first one, and I only finished it recently. So, but that's not a fully finished one, so that doesn't go into here. So, the first one, I think the first one I started stitching was because I saw Noah Stitches showing it, and I thought it was so cute. It's the Halloween Hoot Owl. This is from Just Cross Stitch Halloween special of 2014. And I only finished it last year. I'm not going to bother you with all the details of when I started it, but anyway, this was my first Halloween project ever, but definitely not the first one I finished. I decided to finish it as a flat fold, and then I have an easel I put it onto and display it. Usually I will display some of them over here, but since I'm going to show them to you now, I'm not. Yeah. So, and this is on 14 count. Some of the first fabric I tried to dye myself. It has awful lot of backstitching, but I think the backstitching is very important to this piece. Yeah, but I like this very, very much. That was that. In May of 2021, back then, people had started changing somebody still called it Stitch Mania, but it's not nice to call something mania because of people with mental illnesses. I mean, I used to suffer from depression, so I do know something about mental health issues. But anyway, I did call it Stitch Mania back then. But I decided back then that I would, I think, yeah, May has got 31 days, and I decided to start a new Halloween project, 28 of the 31 days. I have absolutely no idea what I was thinking. But anyway, the next one is by the Italian designer. It's called Casa Stregata. It's from Olaf in Stitch. It only has 4 colors, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. I stitched this on 18 count rustical oatmeal, and this was so great to stitch. I loved stitching on it, and I do like Olaf in Stitch's patterns. So, but this was the first one I made, and I think it's amazing. So many details with just 4 colors and no back stitching at all. And I think I paid €5 for the pattern. You can get the pattern at Casa Cenina. Yeah. Then the only thing I ever stitched from hands-on design so far is this one, Blissfully Unaware. When I saw that, I saw a Flosstube showing it, and I just loved the text. I have forgotten who. I stitched it on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. And again, this also wasn't finished until last year. And the back fabric, all the white is glowing in the dark. I bought 2 meters of this because I think it's a very nice fabric for Halloween projects. And yes, I'm the lazy type. That means I sew it all together, and then I cut up here and fill it out, turn it around and fill it out, and then I just hot glue here and close it up, because I think it looks better this way. So, and I love this pillow. After that, I started on this little series, and now I have to find the right one. This is Haunted Spooky. Of course, it's the last one. This one, by Waxing Moon Design. This is part of a trio. I have stitched all 3 of them, and when I have showed you all 3, I'm going to show you all 3 together. This also took quite some time for me to finish, but this was the first one, and I'm not using, some of the colors are called for and some are not. Some are just from the stash. And on the back side I put this autumn fabric, and then some green, and then the spider web. So this was House Creepy, and it's on 16 count. Which one is the next one? Witching Halloween. Then I did this one. This one I did in a day. This was the first time where I tried to put something on. I'm not completely happy with it, but never mind. Anyway, it's from Just Cross Stitch Magazine Halloween issue of 2020, and this is on 25 count mushroom even weave, and the back side again spider web fabric. The next one is a picture, cat o' lantern, also from Just Cross Stitch magazine of 2020. It looks like this, and I did this one on 25 count bianco antico, that means antique white, and it just fits perfectly into this Passepartout frame, and I like it a lot. That was one of my first, this was my first project, an even weave. That means when I was 14 I also did something on even weave, but that's such a long time ago. Anyway, 25 count, and I think it's very cute. Then I did another pillow, 31st of October. Again, it's from the Halloween 2020 issue. This is on 14 count Ada, and the thread are XU Designs redwood silks. And the little spider, it should have French knots. I've never tried to do French knots, but I think it looks very difficult, so I have just decided that whenever I have to do French knots, I will put in beads instead. So it got some green eyes here, and again the same back side fabric. So the next one is the Halloween castle, again from the same magazine. I think this magazine had so many great projects in it. This is on 14 count, again hand dyed by me. All the white all the white is with glowing in the dark threads. And again, this is the back side. So, and then I started this one, and then this was one of my favorites. This is from SpeedyXStitcher. It had an awful amount of back stitching, but I think it's so cute. This was the first SpeedyXStitcher design that I bought. I remember I was struggling a bit to get it done, and then I decided, when my now ex and I decided to take on a holiday in Hamburg, out of two projects, this was the one. Therefore, I actually got a lot of stitching into it, and so I managed to finish it, and I like it very, very much. I don't know, I can't bring it any closer, but I think it's so cute. The next one is also by the Italian designer Olaf & Stitch. If I were to do it again, I would change either the fabric or the threads, because it doesn't go that well together. I find it's a bit hard to see what it is, but it's called Poison Jack, and it's on 14 count, also hand dyed by me. And the threads are called Halloween, which is why I wanted to use these threads, but I should have used some darker fabric or another thread. But done is done, and I'm not going to redo it. So, but it's kind of hard. But you have a table here with a cat below, and yeah, it's furnitures. Not, and then you have a pumpkin there, but otherwise not much Halloween. Yeah, actually there are ghosts up here, but you cannot see it. So this was a bad choice of either fabric or threads, but as I said, I'm not going to change it. Then I started the house haunted. So this is the second pillow in this series by Waxing Moon Design, and again the same backside. And also here it's on 16 count, hand dyed by me. Some of the threads are called for, some of the threads are DMC, some are fancy floss, wig style work, I think. I mean, floss from Stash. And some of it is down here. The orange I actually think is silks, called the Sienna silks from Miss Usitas, I think. Let me see, where am I? And then Black Cat. That was from Just Cross Stitch magazine of October 2016. And I did not use the call for threads. You can see from the pumpkins I instead used as a variegated silks, probably sienna again if I remember. And for the green here I also used another thread. This one also had quite a lot of back stitching. And this is on the same fabric as this Blissfully Unaware pillow. And this is the back side, of course, cat paws, because it's a cat. Then, oh, I love this one. It's by Madame Chantilly. Let me see if I can. Halloween Town. This is on 16 count, hand dyed by me. This is, I don't know if you can call it a series, but at the moment I'm doing en retard. That's also a town looking like this, just in more Christmassy colors. And I love stitching on them. I really like this one. And there's a funny story to this, or not funny, but I had picked up the fabric and then I had a kind of feeling, I better measure the fabric once more. And thank God that I did that, because the other fabric I had chosen was too short. So I picked this fabric instead, and it had room for everything. And I can see I have to take it out because they're actually thread. I didn't see that. You see there are threads there. I have to remove those. Anyway, the little spider, it should have French nuts, so I gave it 2 beads instead. And I remember Madame Chantilly, she commented on it on Instagram, and she loved that spider that had beads instead. And then the last one, How Spooky. I think I did start this one in 21, but I only stitched like this. So I didn't start stitching on it until 22, 23. Anyway, I finished them in October last year. So this is the last house. So now you can see all 3 together. And I love this little trio. And I'm going to put it over there afterwards. So as you can see, they have the same backside. And these are definitely some of my absolute favorite Halloween projects. There's something about houses. I think they are so cute. So we're getting there. The next one, it's not a real Halloween project, but I decided to show it here anyway. But I'm going to show you it as a photo. It's a Supernatural Sal by the SpeedyXStitcher. And I decided to put it into this parade because it has a lot of creatures that we do say belongs to Halloween, for example, ghosts and stuff, and maybe sometimes vampires. So I think it was suitable enough. And by the way, if you can see my little ghost lights, I mean, I'm hiding from most of my decorations, and I don't have my pictures up there, so it's a little it's not fully finished because I had to remove all the pillows and the pictures, the frames. Anyway, so this is a supernatural sound, and I did it on 18 count silver lurex and hand dyed by me. And this was the first, so far, the only cell that I managed to keep up with. I remember the first 10, 11 creatures I was up to date. And then you might know that my ex and I split up in October of 2022, and this was about the time, so I had plenty of other stuff going on in my life, so I did not have the time to keep up with the cell. And I think the cell ended before Christmas, and yet somehow I suddenly managed to sit down and stitch and stitch and stitch. So when the last creature was released, I had almost done the one before. So within a week from the release of the last pattern, I finished it. And that was very nice, because usually I don't take part in that many cells because I can't keep up, because usually it's because I'm this moody stitcher, and if I don't feel like stitching anything, I don't stitch on it. I took part in the Buffy cell, where you should stitch each main monster, or the big bad of every season, and I'm still at season 3, so I have 4 more to go. I also took part in the Galliana cross stitch Christmas window cell, which started January 2 years ago, and I'm still not done. Anyway, let's move on here. The next one is again Witchy Stitcher, the Frosted Pumpkin Cottage. This is on 16 count, sorry, that's Quintus complaining about something. On 16 count Ada, called Dirty. And yeah, as I said, it was the Witchy Stitcher. And this was could you please be quiet? And this was the first one where I actually succeeded in stitching all the black first. And then after that, I started putting in the colors. And I really love the way it looks. This is also one of my favorites. Actually, I do have quite a lot of Halloween favorites. And you know, it's kind of fun because I don't celebrate Halloween. Not at all. I mean, Halloween is becoming bigger and bigger every year in Denmark. And we also have kids now doing trick and treat. But we also have this rule here that if you have not put out any Halloween decorations outside your house, they will not come and do trick and treat at your house. The only thing I decorate for Halloween is this furniture behind me. That's the only place I put my Halloween. So eventually I will have to choose what kind of Halloween stuff I put there, because there will not be room for all of it. But I love stitching Halloween stuff. I like all these spooky things. Okay, we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, and then it's done. The next one is the Cat Ghost by Mama Witch Egg Stitch. This is, I think it's so cute. It was on it is on 16 count Ada. Alice Dark Magic by Chromatic Alchemy. I'm so sad that I cannot buy from the UK anymore, because I really loved Chromatic Alchemy's fabric. It's also very soft to stitch in, and I keep every scrap that I have or left over and try to find a pattern that I can put onto it. I bought 4 or 5 pieces of fabric back then, and I still got some left. That Buffy over there, or up there, that's also Chromatic Alchemy fabric. So anyway, this is Cat Ghost. Yeah. Happy Haunting by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. This one I finished a bit different because I put it in a frame, but actually, as you can see, I made it into a flat fold first, and then I removed the glass, and then I put in some burgundy velvet that matches some of these purple colors here. And this one I stitched pretty fast, and yeah, there's something with the corners. It was the first time I was doing a flat fold, so it's on 14 count Ada, hand dyed by me. And this is also one of my favorite Halloween cross stitches. I think it's so cute with all those little ghosts. And then one of the most recent one is Solar Stitch. I have just shown you this one 2 Flosstubes ago, I think. This is Witch's Shoe. No back stitching at all, and I love the way it looks. And I gave it a little border here with this fabric, and then on the back side I have some other Halloween fabric, and then I put this one. This cannot go up there. I have to find out where I'll put it, so maybe I'll have to expand where I put up my Halloween stuff, or maybe I can put it up there. I will have to find out. And the last one is the Broomstick Brigade from Just Cross Stitch magazine of Halloween, and I think it was 2021, but I'm not completely sure. But anyway, I finished this one last year. Maybe it was in the issue of last year. I think it's so cute. I love cats, as you probably know. I have 4 cats, and of course I had to make this one. And again, usually when I do something with cats, I will put cat paws fabric on the back side. And that one has a little charm with 2023. And I forgot one. This one. This is the most recently one I finished. That's also from Just Cross Stitch magazine of 2022 or 2023. And it's called Trouble Driving a Stick. And this is also on 14 count Ada. This Ada is not hand dyed, and I think it's so fun. Yeah, that was my Halloween projects, the finished ones. I think I have about 10 or 15, I haven't counted them, projects that are whips at the moment. So maybe in 3 years again I will make a new Halloween projects parade of 2024 or 2024 till 2026. You never know. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you will come back next time. And please do leave a comment if you have something to say. I always respond to my comments. And otherwise, may your threads always run smoothly.